Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a good time. And of course, here we are on a PulseX live show. This is the way we go, folks. And of course, I'm your host, Superman. Let's get into it. We've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the big thing is the Daytona 500. That was the big qualifying race today. So we're definitely going to talk about that. We're going to look at some cool little videos and stuff. Don't forget to check out, I put the race out in the previous video. That's the official Fox Sports, I think it is, video. So definitely check that out. And man, you'll see the physics of what happened there. We're going to actually have a look at JJ Yeley and see what he thought about the race and the outcome. So we're definitely going to get into that. Let me just double check that my audio is up and running. Sounds pretty good to me. So looking good. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, and hit the bell. And of course, if you're watching this after the live stream, put a comment in there. I will respond to the comments as well. Now, if you also want to join the channel, of course, we've got Pulsechain, Hex Token, and the Richard Hart Club. Those are the three memberships. Get in there. You get some cool emojis and other stuff. It's going to be pretty nice. So let's get into the house, folks, and see who's in there. And then we're going to get into the details. We've got who we got. It's now first in the house. Woohoo! Hey, good to see you. It's now, and welcome to everybody. Of course, a big welcome. This big heart in this community. Alex K says, "Don't tell me JJ did not qualify for Daytona." I won't tell you then, Alex. I won't tell you. That would be a shame, says Alex. Hey, Alex Fame says the money team did it. Yeah, the money team did get in. So I didn't tell Alex that, but I did agree with you on that one. Solix got the GM in the house. Good morning. Very cool. Matt and Barley says, let's go and rumble. Matt, of course, is Hex Token channel member. And are you a mod, Matt? Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, you're a mod as well. Yes, Sam's in the house too. 19, JJ. Yes, he came 19 out of 21. We're going to check all that out, though, as we get into it. And Matt says, looks like someone fell asleep at the wheel. We're going to hear from the man himself about the race and what he thought of it. Hex Potter says, cheers. Hey, Hex Potter, good to see you. And Michael O'Keefe, as always, NASCAR was a tough luck. Very close. Yeah, I don't know. He's been racing for 18 years in the race. He's participated, I think, it's his 6th or 7th NASCAR. He's driving for 18 years, so he's an experienced driver. And I think that I'm not sure whether obviously getting car parts and things like that's always an issue. They obviously had a car in there with that Hex.com. But it's also about having enough driving at the time. So I'm presuming he's been driving pretty steadily. But we'll get into the thing. I actually think that in some ways he did very well. In other ways, possibly he made a couple of judgment errors. He also had a couple of car 16 was randomly against him as well. So we'll let him talk about that when we get in there. Solix says there was 100,000 seats at Daytona, 140,000 seats at Las Vegas. So more eyes for the next event, says Solix. Yeah, absolutely. And PulseX says, woohoo! Hi, man. What's up, says PulseX. Hey, hopefully the Hex price when we get into it, that's going to be up too. And Mike says, in reality, you don't get much for 600K in NASCAR. Big boys spend millions at each race. Yeah, I think you might have seen that in the difference in the car speeds from the top of the list to the bottom. But we're going to check that out in any case. Anyway, welcome, everybody. Let's get into it. Hex car, let's go. NASCAR Daytona 500. It's just kind of mind blowing. You still think about it. It's kind of surreal that we have a car trying to qualify. That was a pretty amazing thing. Here we are. Of course, we day 16. We missed out on the 2 fastest times on the day 16 qualifier. I posted 2 videos on that on this channel. One yesterday, one today. And of course, the qualifying race was today, only an hour or so ago, maybe 2 hours ago. And of course, the qualifying race was on. And we'll look at where we came in. We did not qualify for a Daytona 500 on Sunday, but there were some cool highlights in the race, and maybe a few questions, made a few disappointments. It was a mixed race, really, but ultimately we just missed out. Let's have a look at where we're going here. So we're going to jump down here to some photos. So I wanted to post some images you may or may not have seen. I've taken these across Twitter. Different people's posts, and I thought they were pretty cool. So here's the Hex.com car. Yeah, it looks like it's hooked up to a battery or something like that in here. This utility drawer here. Then, of course, we've got some early photos. Believe this is before the race. We've got the where's that jumping all over the place there? We've got the man himself. Damn, I'm good with the yellow. I love that. That's kind of really bullish sign. I think this is before the race and not after the race. We've got, look at all the Hex team there. Look at that, folks. Really, really cool. We've got the driver in front, JJ himself, with the car looking really cool. Doesn't look so cool. Now, I understand, I think there were 30 to 35,000 people at this particular race. Of course, it's going to be fully sold out on the Sunday, for the Sunday race, but that's all about 30,000 people or so that got to see the Hex.com logo and branding. So very, very positive on that. And he got plenty of time on the TV as well. We've got a lot of the crypto. Look at the 255 guys over here on the Crypto Sparse book over here. Look at these guys. We've got Motley. I think it's Motley here. We've got Crypto Cabana here and a couple of the other guys in the team as well, which I'm not familiar with their faces, but they're there as well. So great to see the Hex crew there. So cool. And they got all their cool little passes, wearing their little passes. So that is a fantastic shot. You got to agree. That is really cool. So obviously it's a race, so not everyone's going to win. Unfortunately, we didn't win. But we've got to celebrate all the cool branding, imagery, just the fun of the event, regardless of winning. It is really, really cool. And of course, that is where we're at. So we've got the car here. I think this is the finish line here on the car where the start line. I'm not sure what day this is on, this particular one, but I think this might be the actual first day, the time trials, this particular shot. So not the same day. It's not the same day, this shot. Then, of course, we've got this one here. I think that's Motley there and sitting up here, pretty nice as well. So this is actually on the qualifying race day that we had today. And then we've got this one here. We've got, let me jump through there. We've got, this is the car that beat us today. This is Floyd Mayweather's car. And, of course, that had its own issues. It got penalized coming out of one of the pit stops, I think it was. Got penalized for that. And they actually thought that they would be out of the race. And of course, they managed to pip us on the last lap. That's the way it goes. But it's pretty interesting seeing the Hex.com sitting in behind them here. That's pretty hilarious as well. And then, of course, we've got some other shots here lined up at a different time as well. So I think that's in the pit stops there. So cool. And that's some of the cool images. So hopefully you haven't seen any of those. Hopefully that's been quite useful. And of course, we were trying to, Floyd Mayweather's car was driven by Kaz Crowler, number 50, which you can see there, number 50. So that's where that stands, of course. Let us go. Of course, there were 6 drivers, remember, starting at the top, 6 drivers, and we had to beat these other 4 of these other 5. Obviously, Timmy Hill here is going to be in the second race. So we were in the first one today. Timmy Hill will be in the race, probably driving now, I guess, if not already having driven as well. So that's just the way it goes, or maybe they were driven. So there we are. So Kaz Grella got in with the Floyd Mayweather team. So pretty cool on that. Let's jump out of that, and of course we're going to look at this. This is a pit stop, so we're going to have a quick look at this as well. Let me just get into some of the chats before we do. The car had no speed, lost the draft immediately, said Hex Force. Yeah, at the beginning of the race, apparently that's had not the best start, and Hex Force is onto that. And what else? We got Bonjour. Maybe you're talking about the last there lap there, Hex Force. Bonjour from Near says Jean, Franchot, Boxy. Hey, good to see you, June. And Michael says, I think we have an option for another race. Yeah, we believe so. Believe that we can go for Talladega and Las Vegas. And, of course, Las Vegas would be perfect because it would be the same time as we've got the Las Vegas Expo, which would be amazing. We'll have 600 plus hexagons there. It's going to be a madhouse. The Las Vegas kind of would be perfect timing. So, yeah, that's still on the upside there, right? What up, family? Says Human Hex Trafficker. Good to see you. Hex Force says, plus they didn't change their tires on the pit stop, making a slower car even slower compared to cars that changed 2 tires. Oh, I wasn't aware of that, Hex Force. Seems like Hex Force knows a little bit about this in detail. Rags to Riches got the arms up. Bam! We got the arms. Great to see Rags to Riches in the channel. Keep up the awesome stuff on your channel there, Rags to Riches. Big shout out. Hex Hoddle says, at least we got the Hex car in the spotlight. Yeah, boy. Yeah, represent. Yeah, we did. Absolutely. And Solix has got, I'm sure Hexkins could donate more than 600K for a car. Why did he pull back? We're going to look at his own explanation and shortly. That's shocked. Yeah. Solix says they raised 600K in 5 days. They could raise 2 million in a month, says Solix. Mayweather must have bribed him. No. Yeah, so it's just the way the physics of the last lap. There are probably a couple of judgment errors and a couple of laps leading up to that last lap. And also just the way car number 16 and also being in the wrong spot there and unawares of what was going on and couldn't get back into the line there as well. So that's just the way it goes. Solix says, when is the Las Vegas race? I believe it's going to be at the beginning of maybe it's the 3rd of March, something like that. It's just at the beginning of the Expo day. I'm just trying to remember. Crypto Cabana told us, or Cabana Crypto told us about that. Man, Bali says, maybe this is a blessing. We can now get the PulseX car under Limelight too. Yeah, that's right. I agree. Never get 2 cars, the PulseX. Yeah, that'd be nice. Hey, nice thought there. All right, so let's hook this up and let's get out of here and post this out. Let's share this screen, and we're gonna go to that, and bam, we're gonna post. So this is a Freddie Quotes, who is a Daytona 500 reporter, I believe. So this is pretty cool from them. We're gonna full screen that and pull this up. Let's go. This is pretty cool. I wanted to play this because this is the closest we're gonna get to actually being there and watching it. Sitting in behind these guys at the front here with their screens, I believe is Motley and the Krabooks guy. All the Hexicans are sitting in behind these guys, I believe, at the pit stop in the booth here. So they get to see the pit stop, and I think they see the track there as well. I think at the end of the video, you can actually see some of the Crypto Sparksbook guys in there with their cameras. So I think they're even on the left here is one of them. So cool on that. Let's have a look. Here we go. Just got to replay that. It's got stuck for some reason. No, that's just got stuck. I'm not sure why that is. Let's try that again. Really doesn't want to do the full screen, does it? All right, so we'll have to. I'll refresh that one more time. 3rd time lucky. We might have to do the small screen here. You can see it anyway. No, it really doesn't like the full screen there. That's funny that. All right, we'll play it one more time. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. It's not playing the full screen there, but you get the idea. That is where it is at the moment. It's sort of a shame, but that's just how it rolls. Let us go out of there. Going to remove that. Stop screen, and we're going to go to the next one. So we're going to go to the next one. So let's pull that up, and here we go. It doesn't always work when you're doing live shows. That's the way it goes. All right, so here is the leaderboard at the moment, and let me just close out of that. That's still going there. Here's the leaderboard. This was actually what happened. And of course, you can see the top races here, Brad and Austin and Ryan, top 3 there. They were in anyway. There down at the bottom there. So half the track was racing the first lap. This is the first race, of course. And you can see that Yeley came in number 19 out of 21. So he didn't come last, but he came number 19th. And of course, Kaz Grella pipped him at the post there at the end there, number 18. So he came 19 out of 21 out of this race. And of course, you can see the timeline here of the actual race. It's got an update here. There's 60 laps, and after lap 22, Kaz Grella dropped to 18th, now only 1 position ahead of JJ Yeley for the final transfer spot. Yeley didn't have the best open, but then you know, Kaz also had the issue with the penalty. Lap 33, JJ Yeley go 1 lap down, but catch the back of the draft. Kaz Grella is half straight away ahead of the lead draft. And then we keep going through here. Then lap 37. Now Ryan leads after the stops. JJ Yeley now holds the transfer spot after Kaz Grella penalty. And that was probably the big opportunity there for us to, for Yeley to pretty much win the race. lap 37. Still 23 laps to go, though. So it's still a while to go in the race. Then we got all the way up to the final lap here for the last update. And you can see that the big news, of course, was the leaders lapped JJ Yeley, putting them on the same lap as JJ Yeley. And then Kaz Grella passes JJ Yeley, who had no drafting partner to make it into the Daytona 500. So I have posted the video of this race, so you can check that out on the channel here, where that actually happened, where Kaz Grella passed JJ Yeley. And Kaz Grella was following the leaders, was sitting in behind the leaders. And, of course, Yeley was in the wrong position at the top there and presumably unaware of how close the leader pack was, and had slowed down following another car 16. But we're going to get into that update now. So let's jump to there. Those are the results there, folks. Let's get into this one. And let us get out of here again and stop screwing. Let's go to this one. So bam, this is our final one, folks. So this is the big one, I guess. Hopefully it's going to play. That was a little bit not. Oh, take that out of there. Let me jump back here, and let's just make sure. I think I've got the wrong one there. So let's go to the share screen. Bam, am I on the right one there? Yep, I am. It's cool. All right, so we're going to full screen that. Hopefully this is going to play, folks. Now the audio in this is a little bit muzzled, but I think you can probably pick it up what he's actually saying. So this is the big deal. This is his self-assessment of the race and how he got pipped in the last lap. So let's hear what he has to say to that.
You know, we were about 3/4 of a second faster following the 16. We were running the lap times, and at that point I thought we were really safe. And as the leaders were coming to us, the 16 wanted to go to the top and let them go by, which was fine, but then we never got back down, and so we lost within a second. And that was enough to just drag us back to the Chevy pack. Those guys got to run on us, and you know, they were going so much faster. You know, they just jumped down in front of them and forced them to do something stupid. So, you know, just huge heartbreak this one from Hex.com. You know that you look like you're in good shape, and then have her pulled out with it.
Did you think you had enough of a gap between yourself and the 50?
I mean, I felt like we were in pretty good shape. I mean, obviously, we were coming to the light, we were still there, but, you know, just watching lap times and trying to figure out what Hemrick was doing, you know, again, it took me almost 2 laps before it came to the realization that he was just slowing down, and then, you know, he finally let me go down the back straight. By that point, we lost too much speed. The 78 was kind of off me, and those guys were coming. So, you know, I guess it's my fault for not being, you know, more aware, but just disappointed that, you know, the 16 did that. You know, obviously, if he was continuing doing what he's been doing the last 20 laps, there's no issues for us.
Did you expect that in this type of racing, or would you expect him just, if you wanted to, just fall back earlier to Kaz to kind of try to help?
I'm sure it was a situation where he probably wasn't aware. I'm sure he got someone on the radio just kind of made him aware of what the situation was. And I mean, again, that's not totally uncommon if it's, you know, the team Chevy, team Ford, whatever. So just disappointed that if he was going to bail out of the road, you know, just to do it and make it clean versus just kind of slumping down for a couple laps.
Yeah, so there we are, folks. That is what he said happened. And so it looks like he was following car number 16, was slowing down, didn't really signal, and then ended up the car slowed down. He ended up not being fully aware what was going on with that. And then his car slowed down, ended up getting in the wrong position. The lead cars, he was kind of unaware of the lead cars coming in behind. And, of course, car 50 was sitting in behind that back. And so by the time he wanted to come back, he couldn't come in. He had no draft partner either to slip in without causing, I guess, huge accidents. And so he couldn't get back in, and he got passed in the final lap. That's kind of the way it looks to me, based on everything that we've seen so far. And as he says, you know, maybe I could have been a bit more aware of what was going on. Yeah, that was that. So, yeah, I guess there's nothing else to say. Let me know what you think in the chat. Solix says, "Oh man, Hexcar, PulseX car, yeah, that's right." And Alex says, "Buffering, like the old days, yeah, gatekeeping us everywhere, yeah." It's played okay full screen for me on my supercomputer. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't playing. I think I may have too many stuff open, even with my new computer. It still didn't pick up there. Tefren says, "Working overtime, but I'm here, family. Nice one. I got the Russian bots there. Francie says, hello, Hexskins. Hey, Francia, good to see you. I missed the bot, says Tefrin. And Alex says, well, disappointing, of course, but that's racing. It is racing, Alex. The cameraman blocking the Hex. Yeah. He could move to the side better. Shot. Yeah. The cameraman is the worst. Yeah. Plus all the noises in the back. Obviously, it's with all the cars, tires and stuff. Hex, the cameraman was paid off by the coin market. Yeah. Dan just got in. It's going to start from the start. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey, Brownie, great to see you in the chat. And just barely missed it. Nice job. Anyway, yeah, it was. I think it was just he was just pipped in that last lap. And what else can you do? So that's where it's got. So hopefully you heard most of that. That's how I summarize it. That he kind of got stuck behind car 16, which had been going okay, and then the last couple of laps started slowing down. It was obviously going to do its thing, and then he ended up just losing the speed. Got stuck on that top of the track, which the physics is really hard to get back down, right? With everyone else is drafting in behind each other, just like in cycling, I guess. And 50 was sitting in the back of that leader pack, coming around, and of course he couldn't get back. And you see in the video that I posted earlier today, he tries to get back in, but he gets in behind, and that's game over on the last lap, unfortunately. So yeah, there we are. So I thought maybe there was a little bit about awareness, and he sort of said that maybe I could have been more aware. I was actually watching the radio broadcast from his car. Between his car, you could actually watch it on the NASCAR 500. They have a radio call between his team, I think, and the car. Probably kind of assessing the whole track and giving the driver some clues. But obviously, that probably if that was the case, they could have improved that because he was really caught out at the top of the track to come back down. Plus, for the car 16, he probably could have been more aggressive early on in those last couple of laps. Is probably what the hindsight would have been. Everyone's got woo money bags. Yeah, we got it, brother. Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, for sure, Pulse. So I think that's kind of a cool coverage. Hopefully that's kept you guys in the loop. Yeah, I just kind of scoured Twitter to get some of the greatest stuff there. Very, very cool. Let's jump back out. I'm going to close out of this and get in the full screen here. Let's get going. And bam, there we are. All right, let's get on to Hex price here as we move on to the next topic. So we've got the Hex price here sitting at 18.6 cents. Look at this drama here earlier. This was just one trade, folks. Really does get these, create some odd shapes and spikes in the chart. Just one trade. So we had two trades, but one trade caused the actual dip because the first trade was so big. So we had a big seller in there. I haven't done any due diligence, any checking out the big seller. I need to know that it was back at 10 o'clock earlier today. My time, that is. Let's just scroll back here. And I did point this out on the daily vid. And let's scroll. Back up here, I think here, somewhere like that. There. So Hex was sold 6.6 million, and this is just on the USD3 pair. I haven't checked to see whether they sold other Hex on the other pairs, but they definitely sold on here. Big sell here, over $1 million. And then, of course, after that was another million sold, 154,000. So we went from 18.6 cents down to 17.5 with the big sell, and then down to 15.6 with the other sell. Then we jumped back up to 17 cents with some buys coming in. That's where we're at on that. That's how we got that spike there. Let's go full screen. And so that's how we got that spike on the hourly. Let's us go back to the data here. And we're going to take off the structure. So that's how we got our big spike today. Man, spike down to 15.68 just on those two trades. We'll take it that we're back up at 18.6 cents again. And of course, a high for the day has been 90.32. So what a range! What a range today! Really is huge. So what's that a range? 23% in a day. That's pretty crazy, right? That's crypto. It's crypto for you. That's what we got there. Anyway, we're at the top. We had the Bollinger Bands. The top is the blue there. The top 95% of the prices. Bottom 95% is the bottom blue, and the 50% is the red line. So we crossed down through that. Then we had a dramatic trade there with the big OG sell, I guess it was. I haven't done the chain analysis on that account, but that's what we had there as well. You probably could see it on the whale bot also if you wanted to check that out. You might see that you'll definitely see the sells there, so you could do your chain analysis with that. All right, let's open up into the structure. Put the structure back on there. We're going to zoom that out in our big triangle that we've been following. Obviously, we've still got this bull flag. Really got it's got weak. This bull flag is really kind of falling apart. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what we're gonna get there, because now we're all the way down here. So this is really falling apart. We're just gonna have to wait and see what is going to happen there now. So that's just where we're at there. But we are holding the support line at 18.6 cents. So this is the support line that we've got all the way over here. We are holding these lines here, and so we could just bounce off that or move along sideways to that until we get closer to fundamental news. So how many days we got left in the PulseX Sacrifice? Not long to go. Excluding today, we've got 6 days left, so 7 days in total, folks. That's not long to go. We're on day 52. Man, it's closing out, and I think we're going to probably move past this. And we'll need then some Pulsechain testnet 3 news and all that stuff to come in. Now, Richard is talking about doing a specialized video on PulseX. He talked about that yesterday, so we are expecting that. Now, I hope if you haven't seen it, I've already posted Richard's Arts video on Pulsechain update and also PulseX update, so you can watch that on the channel. They're fairly short, so you can check that out. It's just taking those little sound bites out, and because I know that a lot of you are interested in those topics. So cool. That's where we're at the moment. And Pulsechain testnet 3 can't be too far away, is my guess. It can't be too far away, indeed. All right, so here we are. We're going to check out a bit more on this later with the timeframes on the Pulsechain timeline, and we'll stay tuned for that. Hold on, that's coming. Let's jump out of here and have a look at the DMI. This is a scenario we're wanting to follow. At the moment, it looks terrible. Let's be honest. Here's the sell line. This is the sell direction. Of course, with the big OG selling today, the big price spike gets this gone. Beep, beep, beep. That's not what we wanted to see, and the sellers are down here. So we're going to have to wait for this to calm down. We will definitely want to hold that 18.6 second mark, at least just trading sideways. Be happy to that until we get some fundamental news and so forth. So, yeah, however, the momentum's picked up, but the momentum's picked up because of the sell line going up so strongly and this going down. So definitely it's up at 14 off 12. So that's what we're waiting to see. So definitely not happening yet. And of course, the RSI is winding up. This is actually could play out well, even though we won't get the price pump now. It could play out well in the future, because by the time this RSI gets so far down, we have got so far to go back up, right? So we've got so much more room to have a nice price rally that could play out well, like this one back here where we rallied up all to the top there. That could be playing out, right? So we definitely like that look at that. So yeah, this one here is the one I think we're looking at there. This one here. So that's when we had the big price rally up there. So definitely we've got to wait and see it play out. We're holding support. That's all we can say at this stage. So yeah. All right, cool. Let us jump over to the markets. We've got ETH down 5.6%, $2,900. We've got Bitcoin at 40,756. Obviously pulled back with the Ukraine Russia invasion issue. And of course, everyone's waiting to see how that's going to play out. Is it just a nice big political pressure game to push back NATO? Or is it going to be something more? So everyone's waiting to see that happen at the moment. Getting good information is always very difficult, whether it's through so-called official sources or informal sources. It is a bit of a tricky one. The other thing, of course, is more the oil price to pull back as well, which is a bit odd because typically it's been going up. But the oil price pulled back with it looks like Iran potentially coming out of sanctions is the case there. So 2 big issues there happening. So definitely something to keep tracking. And yeah, so the sea is red. The sea is red here. Sea is red, and or lava. The sea is lava there. Pretty cool. All right, so that is a bit of a price review. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to jump on to the next topic, which you know what it is. It is PulseX. That's what we're getting on to next. J-Pon says, hey, Superman. Hey, J-Pon. Good to see you. Another Hex Token channel member. Whoop, whoop. And Dingo Wolf's in the house. And a thumbs up there. Nice one, Dingo. J-Pon says, hey, Superman, finally got you on a live stream. Hey, J-Pon, that's so good. And the timing has worked out. I'm going to be shifting the timings, by the way. I'm going to have 2 live streams a day coming up after the PulseX Sacrifice. So I will be doing a poll on that to see what people would like to talk about. I know what I want to talk about, but it would be great to see what the community would like to see as well. I'm going to talk about a a couple projects at the end of this as well. One of them I like, one of them I don't like. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to shy away from having any controversial issues or projects. I will talk about them from time to time. It's not going to be the mainstay, of course, because I like to be very optimistic but realistic at the same time. Get that balance right. I guess there's some balance there. Alex K says, does the teammate have Hex card too, or does it look different? Hey, look, we could have Hex cars, we could have Pulsechain cars, PulseX cars. We could end up controlling at least what was that, about almost a 10% of the cars. We could have that. We could have incentive car. We could have that's 10% of the cars. Community Hex Traffic says this is awesome. It absolutely is. And Hex, this is going to be epic. Will be. And Hex Hollow says, if you all missed Richard Hart on BitBoy earlier today, go watch it. So yeah, I didn't see that either, Hex Hollow, so I'll have to go watch it too. Charity says, I heard that Hex is B shares today. Had only heard of a T shares. What are B shares? So T shares are trillions of shares, so that's a big number. A billions of shares is a smaller number. So it's probably the best way to look at that, Charity. I'll just go into a calculator and put in the number of zeros for that. So that's probably the best way of doing that. So basically, people talk about T shares, and let's just jump out of there and have a look at that quickly before we go into it as well. So we have obviously T shares here. We talk about T shares. Where's the total T shares here? Let's be scroll over the top here. So we got T shares here. We got 10,731 million T shares. So T shares, trillion shares. So we got 10. This is a big number. This is a big number. 10,700,000 trillion shares. That's how many we got. That's a huge number. Really is big. So I'll take that into. I think that's so 0, 5, so 5, and so 6. So a million is 7, six, 5 was it 6 zeros behind a million, and of course a billion will have 9 zeros, and a trillion will have 12 zeros behind it. The other way of looking at it, of course, is 10 to the power. So 10 to the power of 12, 10 to the power of 9. That's 9, that sort of thing. So that's the other way of looking at it. And of course, you can have positive and minus. You could have, in this case, it's a positive, but you could have the other way. So there we are, folks. That is shares, and of course, there's so many shares required, Charity, so that you can work out the allocation of the profits and all accounting that goes on in the huge system of X. It really needs big numbers to be able to work properly. So that's just the way it goes. All right, so let's jump back from there. I think we're up to that's where we're sitting. T share, and a T share stands for trillion. If you have 0.5 T shares, you'll actually have 500 B shares. Yeah, that's right. So well said that. So if you want to take the T share rate, you can take this T share rate. Let's go up the top here. You'll have the T share rate here at $3,933 for the day ending 8/08. And of course, let me rephrase that. So you would end up having dividing that by 1,000, so it would be $39 for a B share is what that'd be. What else we got here? So in terms of B share, so you just have to divide the numbers by that. What's the other number I was going to look at? Yeah, so yeah, you just divide by 1,000 as well. So for 1,000 thousandth of a T share, you'd only get was it 0.0059? That's what you'd get for a B share. That's a very big different number. All right, so cool. Let us jump away from that. And Francesca says, woo! And Sandeep says, have a great day from Calcutta. A big shout out to Calcutta in India for Sandeep. And welcome for sure. The B standing for billion, I understand. It's now. Charity says, I see. Hedron is based off B shares. That's right. B shares because it's going to have a lot of the new people coming. And they're going to have a lot of those new stakes set up with the B shares because obviously T shares, we will probably not be talking about T shares so much maybe in 12 months time or so because T shares, it's going to be harder and harder to get T shares. We can see that today. Today was phenomenal. Look at this. We jumped T share rate 144.7 increase today. It was mind-blowing. We're so close to 21,000. And I keep saying in my daily vids that this is going to take people off guard. The Hex OGs are going to get caught off guard. really is going to be crazy. And if we look at we're going to go here. If we look at the Hex charts, let's do that. We'll scroll down quickly, and we're going to have a look down here. Wait for it to refresh. We're going to go down here. We're going to see that these stakes at the front here that we call, the front of the waivers, where they're all going to get diluted with the T-share rate because they're doing short stakes all the time, and they're going to continually get taken off guard by that share rate rising so strongly. So it's a big deal, and this is happening in real time. So people, if they haven't woken up to it now, these front stakers, I expect some of them to break up and to start staking a medium to long term. Some of them will keep staking short term and just take the money as they come. It's just the way it's going to be. All right, cool. Where was up to that one? All right, so where else we got? Hex says around the block, a day show on BitBoy. Everyone was agreeing with Richard today. Gotta watch it. Oh, that's hilarious. I gotta watch that then, Hex yeah, well, like I say, the barriers are coming down. Capitulation is happening. And growth is going to be on the way. It really is changing very fast. Terry says, do people actually have trillions of shares? Yes, they do. Trillions of this, over 10.7 million T shares there, Charity. 10.7 million. That's a big number of T shares or trillions of shares. It's a big number. 1 T share is 1 trillion. Yes, it's Exodal. I guess my question is, how does that affect your stake? Well, it represents how much Hex you get paid per day. At the moment, you're getting about 6 Hex paid to you for every T share you've got, or for every trillions of shares, 1 trillion shares, you're getting paid 6 Hex per day, which is about $1.20 US a day. So yeah, stake. And Monty's in the house. Seems like he did on purpose, Yeley. I don't think so there, Monty. I think that he just was in the wrong place, had a few things happen, and may have not been fully aware what was going on. As he said, the payout is about 6 Hex per day. That's right, Hexodal. Shares are how the inflation is given to the staking class. That's correct. And if stake 10 years, then T shares only 1/3 the cost. Yeah. So it's going to cost you almost 21,000 to get a T share if you want to get a 1-day stake. But you can get a T share if you do a 10-year stake for, I think it's around about maybe 6,500 X if you staked it out long. So you got 2 things to go on there, right? You got time that you've got to wait 10 years for that T share to mature. Otherwise, you need 21,000 Hex today to do a 1-day stake on it. That's kind of how it works. So there's a trade-off between time there for the T share. Yeley definitely messed up. Yeah, I think that he probably could have had a better awareness, as he said, and that's probably the case, especially after I think it's Kazkar had the penalty with the exit. He should have definitely have probably beaten that car in that time. So yeah, it now says T share or B share is just an easy way to say the total number of shares you have. Someday soon there will be M shares as well, millions of shares here. Maybe 3 or 4 years from now, we'll be talking about M shares. Then eventually K shares, yeah, and then just shares. And then maybe we'll have micro negative K shares. Who knows? I don't know. It's going to be pretty crazy. Anyway, let's jump over to PulseX results. Let's go. Bam, 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 bam. All right, let's refresh because it's been up here for a while. I've had that open for a little while. So $973.8 million US sacrificed on PulseX. Very interesting there, and it just keeps climbing. 5% per day, of course. We've got 98 hours left until we get a 5% increase. But here's the big deal, folks. 10,000 points will now cost you $7.04. $7.04 for 10,000 points. That's PulseX points. Remember, we've got two components. The base points, which is 10,000 per $7.04, sorry. And then we've got the volume multiplier where everyone gets proportionally ranked in US dollars against each other, competing for that multiplier between 1 and 2.5. 2.5 is for the whales. They get that so much more benefit for coming in because they're bringing so much more economic energy into the system. That's how it works. And of course, the base points here, we're on day 52. And of course, we've only got a couple of days left until the 20th. And then finally, the last 5 days is going to be a flat rate of 1.75. That's when we expect the Origin account to come in and sacrifice as well, maybe 85, 90% of the total supply. And of course, here we are. By the time we get there, of course, it's the last day, 59. It's going to be the 25th. It's going to be $9.90 for 10,000 points. So we're getting there pretty quick. Not far to go from that. Now, if you are wanting to sacrifice, pulsex.info is the site. And of course, the link's in the video description. And I just do a quick overview just for people that are wanting to sacrifice. I do suggest that you just buy Hex and get the copy of Hex on the Pulsechain at the moment. But if you do want to get PulseX at least some of it, then there's a good way of sacrificing. Ethereum, a Binance Smart Chain, Polygon Matic, so any Ethereum or compatible chain, you can just send your sacrifice to this address, OX075, ends in DDC8. And of course, typically send some of the popular tokens is easiest. If you send some real weird altcoins, they may get disqualified if they've got no liquidity and they're just rubbish tokens. So be careful about that. And of course, you can send stable coins, a Hex, of course, etc. You can just send it to there, pretty easy. It's as simple as you sending a little bit of crypto to your friend. It's basically you're sending the crypto to the sacrifice address. This is where most of the sacrifices have gone, as we saw, to this address, over $1 billion US. So nice. If you want to send to these other chains, buy a Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, etc., then just follow the instructions, step 1 to 3, and you'll be perfectly fine. If you're a little nervous about sacrificing, just do a small amount, make sure that went through nice and happy. And if you're happy with that, then you can sacrifice your total targeted amount that you want to do. Maybe you want to sacrifice $1,000. You could sacrifice maybe $20 to start off with, depending on what chain you are and the fees that you're taking into account. And then you could sacrifice the whole amount, something like that. So once again, nothing here is investment advice. Do your own investment due diligence. Just infotainment, but there is the link, pulsex.info. It's in the video description. Let's jump to the main event. PulseX leads. Woohoo! Man, what happened there? That's just amazing. That's like fireworks, and I didn't even plan that. It's just like bam, bam, bam. That's I don't know why that is, but maybe it's because it's very hot here at the moment. Good old in New Zealand, down under, it's very hot. All right, so we've got the total here, 1,026,707,000. This is on the ETH chain, the Binance Smart Chain, and of course Polygon Matic. This doesn't include, of course, Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, etc. As I just said, that's probably well in excess of $1 billion and $50 million US now. And I might actually do a little update on that tomorrow as well. We're almost at 17.2 trillion PulseX points. Is that amazing? So a charity, if you're thinking what is a trillion, this is what a trillion number looks like right there. So 17.2 trillion. So that's 17,199,654,078,293. So if you're thinking about how many is a T-share, there are 10.6 million T-shares. And of course, a T-share is a big number. You can see it has 12 zeros behind it as well. So here is 7 trillion there. And it's followed by 12 zeros, as it were. But of course, this has got some actual numbers: 17 trillion and 199 billion. This doesn't include the Origin account. We're expecting to sacrifice maybe to 85-90% in the last couple of days. So we could easily. I haven't done my maths recently, but I think it's somewhere like 180 to 200 trillion tokens. Of course, we consider the Origin account stuff to be non-active for the most part. Depending on what might happen in the life of this project. But that's probably it at this stage. Hopefully you guys can still hear me, that's for sure. Let me know in the chat if you can still hear me, because I've got my studio coming up there as well. I think I've lost my green screen effect. How about that? There we are, folks. I lost my green screen, and that's just the way it goes. Let me just let's go back to that. Bam. No, green screen's gone. So there we are, folks. You've got my green screen in the background. There we are. All right, so it's all sunshiny here. That's a bit weird, isn't it? All right, so cool. Let us refresh that. Bam. All right, so let us scroll down here. So we've got 134,558. 558. We can hear you. Hopefully you can see me as well, because had some issues there with the green screen. 134,558 is what we've got here in total wallets. We've got 7 wallets that are over 10 million. And of course, we've got the famous, I guess they're famous now. These guys are getting pretty popular. The old Magic Carpet Ride pool, they're getting more popular all the time. They're almost at 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, and they are getting pretty big on Telegram. And of course, that's a global trust initiative where people are joined together and sacrifice. Corey says you can hear me and see me. Great. So yeah, that's what we've got going. They did 4.3 million. Basically, all the small fry in there, people that would probably get a volume multiplier about 1.1 are getting a multiplier close to 2.15. Amazing. Let's see if they did a sacrifice. And let us have a look here. So no update. Haven't done one. They haven't done a sacrifice since the 14th of February. So it looks like they're probably over on that one. Now they're doing the liquid loan sacrifice over $1 million. I think the last time they had So hats off to them. It's going to be interesting to watch their journey. The top 100, you need 1.2 million to get in there. And of course, the sacrifice rate was 1.94. Let's get the top 500. And you need $202,843 to get there. 1.68 is your volume multiplier. Top 1,000, and we'll scroll down there. Top 1,000 is $101,157, and you need a multiplier of 1.58. So it's pretty crazy. Once again, these guys will control, the majority of supplies, 70 to 75%. That excludes the origin account. Of course, we're talking about the public amount available. Let's go to the top 5,000, and we're going to scroll all the way down there. And of course, we got $20,101, and we got a multiplier of 1.33. 1.33. If you got 20,000, that is to get in the top 5,000. As I always say, a lot of people thought they might have gotten the top 5,000 with $5,000, but because this is so successful, this PulseX Sacrifice, and so many people that missed out on Pulsechain as well, wanted to get in on this. We have got 4 times that amount. Pretty amazing. Let's go to the tokens. Of course, $557 million on Hex, and it's a $2,181 million Hex that's been sacrificed. That should end up they'll get the copy of the sacrifice address on the Pulsechain. In other words, both that amount of Hex will be off the market on both chains, and that's unbelievable. You can 557 million. Imagine that going through Uniswap. That would be something else, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be something else? So cool. The other thing, of course, is Ethereum's at 245 million, USDC at 109, USD Tether at 48 million, BUSD at 17.6, BNB at 15.5, DAI at 6 million, and Matic at 5 million, AVAX at 3.6 million, and finally our top 10, 3.6 million, and Shiba. That excludes Bitcoin, of course, which would probably be in this party here as well. So pretty cool. In fact, it is in this party in the top 10. So cool on that. All right, so there's the top 10. The big themes, of course, the 2 big themes. Over $600 million of stable coins, including Pulsechain Sacrifice. That's kind of a war chest, inverted commas, no expectation of the work of others. The other big theme, of course, is that we've got a lot of the dexes already sacrificed. In other words, there's already people that are in the yield farming community that know about all this, and of course, they'll tell their friends as well. And so we've got Cake, Uniswap, SushiSwap, Quick, and others in there as well. So that's a big deal. And just having so many of the people, all these tokens sacrificed, means there's a lot of people from other communities already knowing, and we just got to keep spreading the word about that as well. Once people find out about the biggest airdrop in history, biggest yield farming in history, they'll be coming over in the hundreds of thousands and low millions for sure. It's going to be fun, super fast, super cheap, and of course the fastest way to mass adoption when that bridge opens up. It's going to be insane in the membrane. For sure. So you know how I love to say that, insane in the membrane. So there's the live results, folks. Let's get to the day results. Of course, day 51 finished, and this was 814,000 US dollars, which I thought was another good day. Another good day, because yesterday we had a surprise day, almost 1.3 million yesterday. That was kind of a surprise. Previous day before that was 566,000, then 717,000 before that, 666,000 before that. So the last 2 days have actually been very impressive. As well. So cool. So far on day 52, we're up to 135,000 so far. So we extrapolate that, we might get up to say 500,000 again for tomorrow, is what we might expect. So cool. Let's have a look here on day 51. 1,026,000,000 was the final result, and of course we're just slowly climbing up as well on that. So I'll try and bring a total amount with the other chains as well when we cover that. Hex, of course, is 54% of a total sacrifice, just over 54%. Pretty amazing. So that, folks, is the results, live results, and of course the results for Pulse day 51. We are counting it down. We have not got long to go. As I say, we are counting it down on that time frame. Is crazy. Let's go to PulseX Sacrifice rates. We're going to scroll down to the bottom here. We're almost at the end of this table. Really is really funny to see. Day 52, $7.04. Now, $1 now will buy you 1,420 points unless you don't sacrifice now. If you're new, you're wanting to sacrifice, don't do it today. You're only doing a couple $100, couple $1,000, don't do it today, because anyone in these red boxes at the moment, so anyone in this box, which covers the multiplier all the way up to about 1.5, if you got 1.5 multiplier below, which is, just estimate maybe 70 grand or less or something like that, you're better off just waiting for day 55 and getting 2,147 points, because you get a flat multiplier, 1.75. Particularly if you're in this low amount, you'll definitely be getting way better, because at the moment you'll only get 1,420 points. We're almost at the end. 2 more days, we'll be the end of the volume multiplier. That's it. So we've got 3 days, including today, inclusive of today, that the volume multiplier applies. Then when we get to the 21st, we will be on day 55, and the base rate will be $8.15. The volume multiplier will no longer apply, just a flat rate bonus of 1.75, and you are better off sacrificing you at 2,147 versus any of these low points here. Look at that, much lower. So if you're new looking at sacrifice, just hold off today, don't do it, and just wait for day 55 if you haven't done any at all. No, obviously not investment advice, just going off the spreadsheet, really. So cool. All right, so that's the answer there, and I don't know why I put my hands up. It's like I'm getting arrested or something, but that's all I'm saying right there. All right, cool. All right, let's jump over to PulseX, but we're going to have a look at, this is the end goal, right? This is what we're trying to achieve. This is what Richard's building. We're going to be creating a superior version of Ethereum. Of course, it's going to be super fast, super cheap, biggest airdrop in crypto history with the PRC20s. So all the ERC20s getting copied over, plus NFT contracts, all that other good stuff. Was it 1155s and other stuff like that getting copied over? And yeah, huge, right? That by itself is just awesome, as you know. And then of course we're going to have PulseX as well in there as well. So a super magic burn and buy and burn. It's going to be awesome. And of course Pulse is going to be have a 0.25% fee as well. So I expect us to do amazing number of transactions per day, and I've on the record for saying over 6 to 10 million. I wouldn't be surprised to see us get over 6 to 10 million transactions per day in a very short space of time. So I think that's going to be pretty bullish. Once the bridge opens up, of course, it is relying on the bridge opening. Of course, that's pretty cool. So we're going to have our own network. We're going to have our own exchange. And of course, we're going to have the total amount of tokens at the beginning, only deflating. We don't have any inflationary tokens that we're trying to deflate. And with a whole ton of lotteries and stuff like that, it's going to be total amount at the beginning, deflating, and fast. Everything else that's trading on here is going to be going to buy Richard Hart tokens, in particular PulseX, and it's going to zoop that up. Really is going to be amazing. How that's going to happen, it could be a number of ways. As we said, we can speculate. Maybe it's going to be like a whale. Maybe it's going to be creating parabolic price rises. All sorts of things could be in play for that, or maybe it just be a time-based buy and burn. Lots of different options there for pumpermentals. And of course, Hex is going to get copied over. And of course, for those who hate high ETH fees on here, unstaking with the S-load function, as then we're going to have super cheap, super fast. Also going to open up the road for all the retail people that have been told about Hex to come in here and not have to worry about the fees and just get staked and start earning that beautiful APY. Very cool. Somewhere, I think, was it a year now is what, 11-12%, somewhere in that ballpark, I think. And of course, for the average 6.22 years, I think it's at around about 38%, somewhere around there. Obviously, the Hex Godwell staked that billion the other day, so it's probably a little bit different now. But that's kind of the way it is. If you want to stake longer than that, of course, in like 10-year max, then I think you're getting 42, 43? I can't remember the number for that, but it's about 42, 43. Just off the top of my head there. You have to definitely check your calculator. So that's what's going on there. Very cool. And of course, we've got the incentive token. This is the last mile token. We're going to be interested to see what Richard does around this. So yeah, there's been a lot of people with a lot of ideas. It's got to be simple, right? The idea's got to be simple. There are a couple of solutions, third-party solutions. Liquid loans is an obvious one there. And of course, some people have talked about hooking it into the validating for pulse staking. So there's a couple of different strategies there, both on the asset side, liability side, that you could look at for sure. But like I said, there's going to be a lot of third-party dApps that are going to be trying to chase down people with Pulse and PulseX and stuff like that. So you're going to have a lot coming at you because you're going to have the total supply at the beginning. You're going to be the first early, you're going to be the OGs, the Genesis OGs for that. It's going to be pretty awesome. Okay, so there'll be a day or two where people can swap the ratios, of course. That's going to be kind of risky, I think, but people can do it and people will do it. And of course, then we've got a day or two before the bridge opens up, and that's going to be the fastest road for mass adoption, right? Where people are going to bring their ERC20s open and be able to pair it with the PRC20s and start yield farming and all the good stuff in there as well, getting trading fees. The other thing, of course, is the fiat gateway will open up, and that's going to just get bigger and bigger and bigger as well. So cool on that. Now, obviously, there is a bit of a battle, generally speaking, worldwide about regulations. So some countries are opening up and recognizing stuff. I think Russia today did that with Bitcoin. Other countries like Canada and the United States with the current leadership trying to demonize it, as it were. So we'll see how and regulate it. So we'll see how those all play out over time. But definitely Hex, of course, not as a security under the Howey test, is going to serve pretty well. Pulse and PulseX too. with the similar sacrifices also fitting under the Howey test. So that's, offers a lot of support there. All right, so cool. And of course, the liquid line's coming up, and we're going to talk about that too. But before we do that, we're going to get into Pulsechain and get onto that. So we've got obviously the MinVibe product going off pretty well. We're waiting for Pulsechain testnet 3. Now, this is Pulsechain testnet 2. It's been lasting 68 days so far. And of course, Pulsechain testnet 1 did 77 days. So we're up to 68 days here. I have updated this table. And of course, we're waiting for Pulsechain testnet 3. This one here, it's going to be short. I've got it here for 2 weeks at the moment as being short. So there we are. We're waiting for that. So when does it start? When does this end? Question marks there. And of course, we're expecting the PulseX incentive token DAO and of course the AMM bot run as well. So those are the big things we're waiting for. Plus the distributions, of course, the sacrifice distributions. But these are the two big issues. We want the system to actually run well, be coded well, operate well. That's what is the priority at this stage. So cool on that. Obviously, Daytona's just passed us by. So we've potentially got Talladega or Las Vegas. And of course, the big thing coming up next is the Twitter room spaces. And that's coming up. So Twitter room spaces and 96 hours funding gym. Peter Schiff versus Richard Hart, Kiyosaki, large influencers. That's all coming up. And of course, the 23rd is the big debate between Peter Schiff for gold and Richard Hart for crypto. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And that's going to be huge. These large influencers, over 500,000. It's going to be a pretty big deal. The Twitter space rooms also will be flying in on YouTube as well. Looking good there. Hex Scale, Kinetics talked about Mountain Crypto Advisors, done a lot on their channel lately. Discourse Syndicate talking about that and doing FAQs and of course onboarding new investors into that as advisory. So that's really exciting. And of course, we're waiting for Hex Investment Trust. That's the big one. That's they're going to be buying Hex and staking at 5.555. But if they're going to be doing that, of course, we pointed out they're going to be doing that after the Hex Godwild staked already. And that was an interesting timing of that as well. So that's going to be interesting in the future. 15 years time, that will be interesting, won't it? Pretty crazy. Now I do understand the Hex Godwild, which staked the billion, was it 2 days ago? I think is making about $167,000 a day or something like that. I can't remember the number. I did see someone tweeting that around. So already in day one, it's made about $167,000. So crazy stuff there, and amongst the giant whales. Awesome. So remember, the Hex Godwild is number 2 on PulseX and number 2 on Pulsechain Sacrifice as well. They are positioning themselves in this ecosystem big time as well. All right, so Funding Gym, of course, is doing all that wonderful work around the Twitter room spaces, obviously with a lot of other people that are involved in that, but pretty neat to see that. That's coming up. I think it's the 21st to the 25th. And so that's starting on, I guess, Tuesday. No, Monday. It's starting on Monday. Tuesday, 20th. I'm starting on Monday there next week. So that's for next week. That is going to be huge, folks. And that is going to be really big. I think it's going to have a lot of permutation through the crypto world and non-crypto world. It's going to be pretty neat for that. Of course, there's another private trust vehicle that's also operating, not just the Kinetics one. We'll wait to see whether that ever comes to the fruition. On top of that, and of course, we've got other people running around. We've got Overwatch, of course, 3 Arrows and Kiwasaki's and many others in the big leagues as well, doing their own thing. So lots of fun ahead. All right, so the other thing, of course, we've got Hexpo Vegas coming up with Matty Allen. That's going to be huge in Las Vegas, and of course, it looks like this Daytona. We think if Cabana Crypto sort of said that if we don't make it here, we could transpose that over to here. And I doubt the budget, the 600,000 budget, was for the full race through to Sunday. So maybe they just transferred that over into Talladega or Las Vegas. So we'll try and get a bit more on that as well. So cool on that. I think that's kind of the main things there. Of course, the highest stakes continues to do the forming and move on. That's pretty much a wrap up of the milestones there. So cool. Looking good. Let's get into some of the chat before we jump on to the next topic. And Charity says, so I staked not much for 15 years and I'm getting 6 Hex a day. That wasn't making sense to me. So I don't know how many T-shares you got, Charity, but if whatever T-shares you got, you're getting 6 Hex per T-share. If you got 10 T-shares, you're getting 60 Hex a day. If you got 10 T-shares. So 10 times 6 is 60. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how that works. How many T-shares is your 15-year stake? Or should I say, if your stake is 1 T-share, you get paid just over 6 Hex per day. That's right. That's the date, right? That's the rate right now, but it goes up almost every day. That's right. So the T-share rate, one day in the future, it could be 30, 40, 50, 60 hex per T-share into the future there sometime. And definitely check that out. Charity Dunning says it's none. That's none, says Charity. And maybe I'm saying something wrong. Anyway, sorry to hog the convoy. And if your stake is worth 0.1 T-shirt, then you will get paid a 6.01 right now. You're getting a lot of help there, Charity. The team, the community is helping you out there. Venerate says, we can hear you. We can hear you. Oh, nice one. I'm just caught up to the fact that I had issues with my studio here. JJ Yeller not in a Daytona. So what's next for a NASCAR team? That's what we're talking about is Talladega or Las Vegas is what we understand is the next options for that. Las Vegas would be perfect timing for the Expo, of course, in March there because it's the same time just at the beginning. Salmon says Vegas, baby, Vegas. And it's Nana says Hoddle Dog has a good video explaining T-shares here. Go check that out. I looked at that the other day. It's a pretty good. This obviously it's a beginner's intro video, but it'll be perfect for your Charity. Check it out. And it's Nana Vegas baby says now I'll check it out. Thanks. That's all good. And Michael O'Keefe says how many hex are available outside of OA account liquid? Of those, are they all being held or staked by people, or are something sitting somewhere waiting to be added to the market? So Michael, we don't have, I haven't got the latest numbers. I do have, so the best numbers that we have are from Gunther the accountant, and way back, my last update from last year, my last spreadsheet I've got from him is I think it's in May last year, and there were 27 billion hex not included in the origin account that were liquid, liquid and not staked. That has changed a lot, of course, with the Pulsechain, PulseX Sacrifice of 5 billion. It's changed with a lot of the stakes coming out over that time. I think there's been 6 billion an increase in circulating supply. So there's a lot of different numbers moving around there. And so, yeah, if I get an updated sheet from Gunther the accountant, we should be able to give you a pretty definitive number on that. Dan, I don't know, Dan. I have to double check. I haven't checked that today. It'll be something we'll talk about in the future when those opportunities might be. I'm going to check on that stuff. Charity says market cap isn't an issue with hex price, whereas PLS it matters, which is where the AMM comes in. No, I don't think market cap matters to some people. What doesn't matter so much to the crypto community. That's why we get massive price rises in the crypto as well. Yep. And Dan, I think early March, says Sam. Yeah, early March. That's definitely for Las Vegas. It's early March. I'm not sure when the Talladega one is. Dan says, does anyone else know? Yeley should have known better than to be on the outside last laps. Yeah, I think he made a judgment error there. I think he was fully aware of the lead cars behind him, as well as where the number 50 was, and I think he pretty much said that. Yep. Las Vegas, Pennzoil 400 Sunday, March the 6th. Hey, it's now. Thanks for that, Sam's theme. All right, so Dan says, sweet. And yes, Dan, I race go-karts, and I know to be on the inside. Yeah, definitely on the inside. Smash the likes. And dang it, I forgot again. Liked it now. Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe as well. What else we got? I popped out the chart to a different monitor and watched the video on full screen, so I don't see. Nice fire roasted content, says Dingo Wolf. And Charity says, I think Richard Hart will surprise us with some sort of benefit to the incentive token. That's like him. Charity says, I agree with you there, Charity. Could the God Whale crash hex upon unstaking or other whale? The Charity, the God Whale has got 149,000 plus T-shares out there. That is going to be a big majority of the T-share supply in 15 years' time. The God Whale, but I have a feeling the God Whale only needs so much money, Charity, so I don't think so. That's the way I'd say that. Talladega, 24th of April, says Michael. Hey, Michael, appreciate that. So there we are, 24th of April for Talladega. And, of course, was it the 6th there for Las Vegas? I think it was the 6th. Was it 6th? Yeah, 6th, I think was. Nice one. Isn't this community great? Just pulling out the numbers. I love it. Love it. Great community. Talladega, 24th of April, yeah. Matt and Barley says, smash the bell, folks. It's free info here. This guy gives up his time every day for all of us. Freedom for all. I'd like that one, Matt. Appreciate it. Yeah, don't forget, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. All those good things. If you want to join as a channel member, hit the join button. We've got Pulsechains, we've got Hexkins, and we've got the Richard Hart Club, which I love those names. All right, I love those names. They're so good. All right, Alex K says you can't be on the inside when leaders are lapping you. Yeah, I think it was a judgment error there, Alex. I think he realizes that too. And maybe maybe I don't know how much he's been driving as well. That's the other thing, because obviously when you drive a lot, your whole senses are in. You've done a lot. You're really warmed up, and of course it was getting the rate. Like Hex did the raising. The community did the raising quite fast for Hex point of view, but from his point of view, they got pushed to the last time frame. Right, from his point of view, that all sort of plays out with getting car and parts. It was quite difficult. He was saying this before the racing, so there's probably a little few things like that. He did manage to get some decent lap times, I thought, in the actual live race. Then got, was it 58? No, not 58. That's not right. 48. Was it 48? I can't remember. The lap time was pretty good, whatever it was, as well. I think it was 48. Yeah, 48, I think it was. And you're supposed to let them pass with no obstructions. Yeah. And Michael says all NASCAR drivers have a spotter in the stand communicating to them what's going on. Yeah. Hey, Michael, I was listening to the spotter on the radio. So that you could actually listen to, on the NASCAR site, you could actually listen to the individual cars radio spotter, and I was listening to them, but it's not completely always clear, and sometimes they use some lingo as well. Yeah, it's definitely looks like there was. That's why I say I think there was a little bit of communication issue there about exactly how the whole track was running at the time. And those tens, you can only see a few cars ahead of you. NASCAR driving is a team activity. I agree with that, Mike. And g'day, all on holidays at the moment. Woohoo, says Brennan. Hey, g'day to you as well, and happy holidays for you. It's now says, hey, Brennan, good one, and good to see you. I think that was the Getsy one, and I got taught that the other day. So there we are. You learn something every day. That's just the way it goes. All right, so that is that. Let's pick up. I think I was going to pick up liquid loans. Let's have a look at this. So liquid loans is coming up. We don't know. It's going to be soon. The sacrifice rate. I think, as I say in this, I think this fits in well. I think as a good use case and fits in on kind of the lending. If we've got Hex as the savings, liquid loans kind of is the lending, collateral lending, of course. So 0% interest. You're only lending against your own asset that you deposit there, so you never have to sell PLS kind of thing. That's one of the main strategies there. And of course, their sacrifice is coming up with the referral link. So if you want to grab a referral link, grab one using my one down below. That's a win-win. You get 5% of what the person sacrifices, as long as it's over $500. And, of course, you get 5% as well. If you get over 10 referrals, you get 10% of your own sacrifice. So pretty nice like that. And I think this has a good application. Once again, you've got to do your own investment due diligence, etc. But this is one of the projects that I think I really, really like. One of the ones I don't like, of course, is Free Pulse. I don't like the way Free Pulse has been managed. Originally, I didn't like anybody. You guys can get into it. I'm just giving my opinion, of course. It's a free world after all. Well, mostly free, and it depends on where you are. But so this Free Pulse here, they've changed it from a sacrifice now to a if you go down to the bottom here, FTP shares. They've changed it from. Let me just jump over there. I'm not sure why that's not updating. So they've changed it from a sacrifice phase to a dedication phase. So really just playing around the names there. I'm just really not impressed the way they've done this at all. And so here's my position. My position is, if you go to the Richard Hart's school thing, this is where the game is, right? This is where all the people are. I think that there's going to be a lot of applications coming here, and we want applications coming on here. But from my point of view, you want the probability to play out. Then you stick with the winners, the Pulse, the PulseX, these sort of things, right? The Hex, and of course you're sacrificing. Richard delivered Hex, and you're banking for it to be delivered with all this as well, right? So that's why you do it. When you come to this one here, you're getting people that have they have some reputation in the community, but once again they're not Richard Hart. And I just don't like the way they did this. Obviously, this is the front argument is that this is a way of onboarding people. Richard's already going to onboard people. This is already free PRC20s is going to be massive onboarding. So I think that this is a minor thing, right? This is small retail people coming in. This is small retail people. It's not going to be the big money. Get some people that will like to gamble on here, but really is just gambling. So when I first saw this, I thought, oh yeah, this is fun, a bit of fun. With the gambling, but then after I ended up talking about the very first time I had it on this channel, after somebody put it in the chat, and said, hey, have you checked this out? So I checked it out and I thought, oh, it's a bit of fun playing around. Of course, some free Pulse, $200. People going away up to $200 an hour on free Pulse because they've made it big in Hex. I thought, oh, that's cool. That's really nice. And of course, that does help with onboarding for small retailers, I guess. But then, of course, I jumped on the FTC here. Shares here, and they had the sacrifice, and I was going, wait a minute. I said, then you're just copying on the back of Richard Hart's, and then you're just going to try and raise millions of dollars through sacrifice. And of course, you may do this, you may do that. So here's all the utilities. You may do buybacks, you may do all this sort of stuff here. You may give out 30% of the profits, all this sort of stuff. So really, all you're doing is investing in a casino site, right? That's basically all you're doing. But meanwhile, these guys get rich by you doing it. And so I was just like, no, thanks very much. So I just really didn't like that. If they had said, hey, we're doing this casino, it's going to have two things. We're going to be doing onboarding, but we're also going to be doing this fundraise up the straight off the bat. I would have had a lot more respect for that, right? I had a lot more respect just being up front. This is what we're doing. You can sacrifice for this. But the way they've done it is they sold, this is what we're doing, giving $200 away, get free Pulse. So everybody comes up. Look, they've got 500 people on here at the moment playing games and stuff on it like that. And of course, they're going to be doing this stuff here. So really, they're just going to be taking all the money. They're risk-free. And then they're going to be, then people are going to themselves create the economic energy here. And they're not Richard Hart, right? They're not Richard Hart. And I just don't like it at all. So that's my view on it. Obviously, everybody's welcome to get involved in it. And many of you may make pump bags. Many of you may not do well out of it either. So there we are. I just thought I'd talk about that. So there we are. There's one I like and one I don't like. And that's my thoughts on that. And I have been asked questions about this. So there we are. I'm responding to that on the live stream. I have seen other YouTubers promote this one here, but I just don't think that they've checked out this FP share. And some of them anyway, some of them have not done it, looked at it properly. But definitely that is the link there. So yeah. That's my thoughts there. So nice one. I just prefer people. We're gonna have a lot of projects coming at us. Bam, it's gonna keep coming. And of course, if you're going to be, we've got the total tokens at the beginning with our Pulse, our precious PulseX. Really got to view it that way, right? Got to view that fact that we're already in the big game. This is the biggest game in crypto. This is the biggest game. Look at, we're making Ethereum superior. We know Ethereum 3.0, whatever you want to call it. This is what it's looking like over here. We're in the big game. Why then go out too far out and do crazy stuff all over the place, sacrificing money here and there? Really, you're starting to gamble, right? You're starting to speculate, but we want high probability of delivery, and this is what we're in the main game. So that's my point of view. You're welcome to yours, of course, but there we are. All right, so enough from that. Let's jump on. We're going to go back to the Hex price, get into the chat there, and see what everyone else has got to go on that as well. So here we are, 18.5 cents at the moment on X. And let us jump over to some of the comments. Brendan says, White Beaches doing paddle boarding and snorkeling. Oh, man, that sounds so good, Brenton. Man, oh, man, White Beaches and doing that. I loved that. Brendan says, hey, mate. And Dingo Wolf says, before qualifying, JJ was over 1,000 to 1 to win. So we're up against it from the start. Yeah, that's true, Dingo. But I thought actually, there were some very strong parts to the racing. And then, of course, just not consistent enough. And maybe that was just the rushing of that phase. Maybe it was him. He said he was the awareness, the communication. There's lots of variables there. But really, after that penalty, then he was really in the box seat to win, wasn't he? After the Floyd Mayweather car got it. So he'll be having that go through his mind, I'm sure, many times as he comes off that one. But obviously, they're going to move on to the next races. It will be the next thing. Because we want him to go to be winner. We want to win. And, of course, your winner's attitude is, okay, I'll assess what I did, and then I'm going to go on, and I'm going to try and win the next race, whether it's Talladega or Las Vegas. That's the next thing, right? So we'll see how that comes out with Crypto Cabana and the rest of the team that have been following that. We got Alex K says, well, they say may because no expectations thing. But, yeah, all promises and people going crazy with the epidemic sacrifices. Most of the same thing. Yeah, absolutely, Alex. Alex K says, it's like ICO with even less responsibility. Be super careful. It says Alex. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Positive thinking. Yeah. Corey says, I was watching a video with the free Pulse team, and it didn't take long for me to say no. I had to shut it off. Yeah. There's going to be plenty of people that go for it, Corey, but I'm just giving my opinion. And, it's good to get different opinions, right? And hopefully that's the case. Says, Michael says K4K, just done a video on free pulse, not advocating investing in them, but explaining that the free pulse is real if you don't gamble them away. Yeah, it's not about the pulse being real. We know the pulse is going to be real when they go live. It's about the FP raise. This is the controversial part, the FP raise here. And obviously they've been under pressure from a lot of people and have changed the name from sacrifice to dedication phase. It's just, semantics, isn't it? Alex K says, yeah, it's real, but don't give them money. It's pure gambling. Absolutely. And no pun intended. Yeah. And why do it? I mean, you can do it. And hey, if you play it out right, you get out early. I don't know however it's going to play out. You just don't know. But the main game is here. We're in the main game, and this is the main game. This is the main game right here. This is where all the people are coming. This is the fastest airdrop, fastest way to mass adoption. And you want people. And of course, you got the PRCs, you got the pulse incentives, you got deflate. Everything's in one place. You got the people. People is mad good. You got the billionaires in here. We know that there's 6 or 7 billionaires at least in here, and that could end up double, tripling by the time we get in a year from here. It's going to be crazy. So that's what I'm just saying. That's my point of view. And of course, if you want to go make these guys rich, these 2 software programmers, feel free to go do that. You can transfer your money to them anytime you want. It's up to you, not investment advice, of course, but there we are. All right, so cool. Let us jump back to there. And all right, a bit of passion. I love it, a bit of passion. Jay, everything says, salute the hexagons. I agree with you, Jay. I agree. And that's where you want to be. All right, so cool. Well, let's have a look at where we're at here. So 15.8.56 cents. And of course, we're going to need some news. We're going to need some whale buying to get this price moving from the looks of it. But as long as we don't go below this area is very important in my view, as we want to stay with the hex price. So let's add in some of the structure here. We definitely want to. This is our support line. We're on the support line, and even it's funny with this is not really that relevant to me, but we touched down on our next support line, which is at 16 cents here. So it was interesting that we stabbed that with this price thing, but once again, it was just one trade after one big OG sold. That was it. But we're still within this triangle here. And I think that this depending on how you view it, I think this has broken down now with that day. So that's where it is. So at the moment we wanted to see us moving sideways here. That's probably where we want to see us going. So bam, want to see us going that way. All right, so that was the direction I originally had. We were heading that direction. It's gone a little bit stronger than I thought, so it's gone a little bit more stronger there. And here we are back touching the 18.6 line, which I did say it might do that, might get that as time goes on, hit that, but it's happened faster than what I imagined as well. So cool, we'll just keep watching out for that. And I imagine we might end up just going sideways here for... let's go through here. We'll just might get just going sideways here for a little while until we move on, because the DMI doesn't look that movement at the stage. So that's just where we're at. So we're just going to move sideways until we get some news about PulseX, and then of course Pulsechain 3, I should say, and of course PulseX as well. Rich is going to be doing a video on PulseX that could actually really liven people up, and people want to get the copy. But ultimately, the 2 big moves. The block height, if we get any information on that for the actual airdrop, and of course Pulsechain itself. Those are the 2 big catalysts. But I happen to think that the chart's going to get front run before that, just like we saw back in the Pulsechain days. After Pulsechain, we had the Pulsechain sacrifice after the 3rd of August, and it was like I think about a week after that, and then the price just went off to the roses. Right, that's when we got up here somewhere. So 11th, and yeah, so. We finished on the 3rd, so we're here, and we had a little bit of a price rally in here, and it pulled back, and for about a week, and then we just went on the roses, right? So we might get something like that coming up here, and we are expecting that with the parabolic patterns that we've had. We're expecting a big price move. That's why we've got the big green candle here. We've also got Brazology got Brazology's test in here as well. So I think we've got that in for the 3rd or 5th. I think the 5th of March, so we'll see how Brazology gets on with that expectation too as well. So to test estimated all-time high. All-time high is of course got to be bigger than 52 cents. I think we said 52, or was I more generous? 50 cents. So beating that. So we know it can happen pretty fast. We've got evidence that can happen pretty fast on the hex chart, and of course we've had this pent up accumulation phase if you want selling and then accumulation as well. So we're waiting to move up there for sure. Nice. All right. Very cool. All right. So that's probably where we're going to end, folks. Let's jump over to PulseX leads. Let's do a little quick update. We're at 7:07 and we'll see where I guess we're up to an hour and 20 minutes already. Can you believe it? It's crazy time. We've had a lot to talk about, of course, today. We've talked about the race, of course, with Yellen here. We got placed number 19 out of 21 in the race. And, of course, we've had a good look at the man himself, JJ. Wish him the best, of course, for the next races for possibly Talladega and Las Vegas. We'll see how that plays out. And, yeah, we're doing pretty well with the Pulse Sacrifice. Man, it was a surprise. Last two guys have been really good. 1.3 million, 800,000 has been a really good surprise there and so forth. So looking good there. All right, so we are up $20,000 already since we've been in the live stream. Have we got a green candle to end on? Let us jump to the hourly and get rid of this as we go. Yes, we've got a green candle. Only on this channel. I'm just kidding. Yesterday we didn't have a green candle, and the day before we didn't have a green candle, but we got a green candle today. So that's all that counts, right? That's all that counts. We've got a green candle, 18.56 cents. Very nice. All right. Off Peak says you're a machine. Appreciate all the FX 1000X. I appreciate that, Off Peak. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, hit the bell, and I'll be getting more content out for sure. It's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to be there. All right. Let us go. All right, so Vin says ditto, and Brennan says I like the free Pulse website when I had 100,000, but it was nuked and down to 10,000. Not interested now in lol. Yeah, that's the other side of it, Brendan. You lose money on there quickly, and you get turned off pretty fast. Yeah. Sam and SV says got the rockets going. Absolutely adventurous. So if you're a Hex Token channel member, get the emojis in the chat as we on play out this the live stream. Let's play it out, and all the best to JJ, as I said. And thanks so much for riding in the qualifying time. It takes a lot of effort, and it's easier for us to sit back in our couches. But when you're in that intense environment of racing in the premier race build-up, it's a lot of stuff to do. And so big hats off to the team of JJ Yeley, and of course, big hats off to the people that have helped and for the Hex community make that happen. It is pretty cool. Always good to give thanks, right? Always good to give thanks. Brownie says, awesome, mate. And very nice. We got all the stuff here. Simple Believers in the house with the emojis. Got the going. Let me post my own. There we go. Looking good. All right. Take care now. See you guys all tomorrow. Bye for now.